So, with that, most of you know we've been very, very heavily involved in AI. It has been one of Tom Doherty's pet projects. We've been at it for several years. A bunch of our members have embraced, and we're trying to continue to find useful ways to best use it. It is so fluid, as you know, and we're trying to find best ways to continually use it and leverage it to help all of our businesses. So with that, I want to introduce Susan Frew, who actually comes from a channel similar to ours and has extensively used AI to improve her businesses. And she's spoken to a lot of people. And with that, Susan Frew.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Victor, and I welcome you to today's keynote session. We're gathered here at a pivotal time for technology, innovation, and collaboration in the ever-evolving world of AI. But before we embark on this exciting journey, let's take a moment to appreciate the breathtaking beauty of Colorado, where mountains meet the sky, and inspiration is just as abundant as the fresh air. Today, we are fortunate to be joined by someone who not only shares a passion for pushing boundaries in artificial intelligence, but is also an entrepreneur, like many of you, with real-world, practical applications of AI. Please join me in welcoming Susan Frew to the stage as she shares her insights into the future of AI and how it will shape our world. Please welcome Susan Frew.
Hey, I'm Susan Frew, stepping on the stage, bringing the future, turning a new page. AI's the rhythm, beat of our time, unlocking potential.
Isn't it cool we live in an era where we can have our own song created for us? It's so much fun. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, and thank you for having me here. As I was walking in, I looked at all of you last night. You're all so ingrained in technology. And I thought about what we are carrying in our hands. The computers that are in our hands in an everyday cell phone are bigger and more powerful than the computers that sent a man to the moon in 1968. We are hearing from experts in the AI space that says we are moving so quickly that 100 years, what was 100 years of evolution, is now going to drop down to 10 years. That's great news for us in technology and in healthcare and in all of the things, but it comes with it a few risks. With all of this power, we need to be able to be responsible about it. And I know many of you in this room are big advocates of AI and are already using it in your businesses. So just show of hands, how many are using AI at all? Okay, keep your hands up if you use it more than once a week or less than once a week. Yeah? How about every day? Every day. That would be me too. And my background is in tech, and you may have heard that I own a plumbing, heating, and air conditioning company. And for very personal reasons, which I will share with you today, we needed to downsize our company. And in doing so, we used 9 different kinds of AI to save $170,000 in our 2024 budget in a $2.5 million company. So that is a lot of money in my world, and it may be in yours as well. And it is my intention always to share with you the step-by-step exactly how I did it and how I used AI in the real world. We are going to explore the magic of AI, which many of you know, the transformative power of how you can use it, and then most importantly, how you can put it into action. I like to joke that the great thing about being a keynote speaker on the topic of AI is that I must keep up on the trends. It also, on the other side, is I am constantly redoing my presentation. It used to be I would have a keynote, it would last for a year. Not now. It lasts for about a day. And something really big happened in the last 5 days. Does anyone know the name Dario Amodei? Does that sound familiar to anyone? Okay. Dario Amodei. Say his name with me. Amodei. Amodei. A lot of people say it wrong. Dario Amodei was one of the first research scientists who started with OpenAI and is directly responsible for the Generation 3 ChatGPT and the evolution on the way to ChatGPT 4. So what does that matter? So he left OpenAI, which almost all of their executives now have left, right? So we need to wonder what's going on around the water cooler there at OpenAI that everyone is leaving. And the people who were there from the beginning, people who are the big data scientists, are all leaving to compete with them and think that Sam Altman is not really in his right mind. Dario Amodei now started Anthropic, which you may know is the Claude. Claude is an amazing large language model. I personally use it a lot. We're going to go through some of the tools today. But Dario Amodei published, the end of last week, a 15,000-word essay about where he thought AI was going and at what speed it was going to happen. All of the podcasters and the experts and everyone on X are all blowing up about this news, and I felt that I needed to share it with you. And before I do that, one quick question. Has anyone played around with Notebook LLM yet? Oh boy, is that crazy or what? Notebook LLM actually came out over a year ago. It's a Google product. It's called Google's Notebook LLM. And what it does is you are able to put a URL or content or anything that you want to learn about into Notebook LLM, and it will transform it into a variety of different ways, including making it into a podcast for you. Insane. So I'm going to share with you what that looks like. But what I did is I took Dario Amodei's entire essay and I put it into Notebook LLM and I had it create a podcast. Now the podcast is 9 minutes long. I am not going to play the whole thing for you. However, I will put it in the handouts which you'll receive today. So here is just a synopsis of his.
Okay, so get this. We're diving deep today, like really deep. We're going to be unpacking this essay by Dario Amodei.
Oh, yeah, the Anthropic CEO. I know his work on AI safety. Really interesting stuff.
Right. But this essay, it's different. It's all about the upside of powerful AI.
Okay, now that's got my attention.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Amodei, he doesn't hold back. Like, get ready for a wild ride because his vision of the future, it's mind-blowing.
You got to give Amodei credit, though. His vision is grounded, you know. He's not afraid to get into the weeds, the potential problems, but
I'm going to stop that because it goes on and on. It's amazing, but those podcasters are fake. They are not real podcasters. They are AI, and all I did was put the URL of Dario Amodei's website where he posted the essay, his blog, and that's what it did. It is amazing and so useful. And I've created one for you later as well. But as we dive in here, I want to ask another question. Has anyone here ever done a DNA test? You know, either, Ancestry DNA or 23andMe. Well, my husband and I did that for Christmas in 2020. We thought it would be fun to do that. We sent ones to our kids and what have you. And I got my results back in January of 2021. And as I opened the app and I started scrolling, I did not recognize one name on there. And I kept going, and then I saw, Stephen, there's my brother. half-brother. And I had been raised to believe that I was 58% or thereabouts Polish. It told me that I was 54% Italian. I knew a little bit about the Irish. My mother talked about that her father, who she didn't have a relationship with, was from a very well-to-do Irish Catholic family. That's all I knew. But no Polish anywhere to be found. And as I started scrolling through, I realized that my mother had some explaining to do should we ever meet again. And as I went through all of the Italian names, it looked like I had all the opera singers in Italy in my DNA test. And my first thought after what's going on here is, I hope I didn't date anyone here. And then my second thought was, please, baby Jesus, don't let Bon Jovi be on that list. And he was not. But I grew up in New Jersey, and this is what my family looked like. They were all Polish, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and there I was, and I would ask my mother, Mom, why am I the only one with brown eyes? And she'd go, honey, it's those recessive genes with those, Yugoslavians. That's why you got brown eyes. Ma, why am I the only one that's tan? Oh, it's those recessive genes. So what does this have to do with AI? But I started really thinking about the DNA inside of me and all of you and every living thing, and how all of these pieces from out there with any part of us whatsoever, without intentionality, makes us who we are. But what if we look at your business has DNA? Your business, the business DNA in your company and mine is the people that we hire, the customers that we bring, the vendors that we have partnerships with. All of that make up a company. And I started thinking about that with our plumbing and heating company. What if we were a tech company that just happened to do plumbing, heating, and air? What if we looked at it completely different? Because I believe, and you may believe as well, and I know you have this huge focus on AI, and you're already working in emergent technologies, always cutting edge stuff, bringing it to the table and to all of your customers. Because we know right now, if we do not become emergent, we are going to become obsolete. And the compete on awesome, not on price, has a lot to do with AI. Because in this upcoming market, we are going to have to be as lean as possible so that we can compete with larger competitors and competitors who are going in the other direction. Because just as I'm standing here before you, we know that there will be others in the market that will not emerge. They will be resistant and just say, I'm not doing this. I refuse. And this has happened. This has happened in our world history, but nothing has moved as fast as AI today. For example, Oprah has a primetime special a few weeks ago, brings on Bill Gates and Sam Altman from OpenAI to talk about AI. We have never seen that before. Now, if Oprah's getting involved, we know this is big news. And here's some other examples of companies that just didn't cut it. And we do not want to be those companies. We want to be the ones that are going to be emergent and leaders in our industry, and then get away from the price objection. Because if you can deliver it better, faster, in a better way to your client, you are going to be the ones that win. Where do you think that your industry is going to be in the next 10 years? Does anybody have an idea? Servicing robots, that's a very good possibility. What else? No idea, just as long as I'm making a whole bunch of money and I don't need to leave the house anymore. That's what a lot of people are predicting. We really don't know. And if Dario Amodei is correct, that 100-year evolution to technology, shrink it down into 10 years, there are things we can't even imagine yet. So in order for us to be able to compete on awesome, not on price, against all of these giant competitors in the Denver market, George Harrison, I met him last night, he's in the Denver market. We have huge plumbing and heating companies here in Colorado, in the Denver market, that small companies like mine cannot compete with on the marketing. Some of them spend $1 million a month. But Google is not ready to give up those paid ads. However, there is a huge evolution in the marketing realm. And for us to scale down and save that $170,000, it started with a very personal reason. My sweet husband, who proposed to me on an airplane while flying over Iowa on our way to Detroit, if I said no, he would have had a problem there, I think. But there we were on the airplane. He is a lovely person. He's been a master plumber for 37 years, and we own this plumbing, heating, and air conditioning companies together. But you see, my husband has asthma, and it's very serious, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse, and his watch is attached to my phone. So when I travel and he's in respiratory distress, my phone starts blowing up. And in his way of trying to feel better, he did a whole bunch of virtual doctor visits where he got prescriptions, but nothing got better. And so we finally, on an emergency, got him into the heart and lung hospital here in Denver, and they said that he was hours away from dying. And they admitted him for 8 days. National Jewish Lung Hospital never admits anyone, but he was there for 8 days as they were saving his life. And when he came out, we sat down and said, what are we going to do? I said, and we all knew this in our company, I do not enjoy running the plumbing and heating company. I do not. It is not fun for me, what I'm doing here and learning about technology. That is my fun. And my husband said, well, I can't manage it this big. So what we did is we shrunk it down so that he could manage it on his own. And another thing happened during that time. We went camping, and he got struck by lightning. Yeah, so if we weren't listening to God at that moment, we were now, right? So 2 major things in a month, and we said, okay, that's it. Well, because I'd already been studying AI and I knew what I know, we needed to re-systemize the business. If I was going to leave and he was going to run it, we needed to have it locked down and tight ship, and we needed to be able to get our cost structure to a place where we could compete with those large organizations. Now, we already had a niche because we are women-owned. So we had a lot of women customers, which I'll tell you about here in a moment. So first things we did was this. We took all of our processes, systems, anything that you can think of to run our company, and we automated it with AI using a program called Trainial. And the way that worked is I'd spent 1 week, this video didn't go, I want to show you this. We are going to use 5 different types of AI. And we are going to rewrite, at the end, we will be able to demonstrate that we can systemize a multi-million-dollar business using AI in 4 days. I have it down to about 45 minutes, but I'm going to even make it faster today, and I'm going to document it while I am doing it, so then this way we don't need to stop and recreate the system and the process and write it down. I've never been a systems person, but I am now. I see how important it is to run your company on systems. It takes the emotion out of things. Well, since we did that, we have not lost 1 employee. We systemized everything. And what I love about this program, and there's other competitors of this program out there, is it had AI starters. Have you ever tried to write systems and policies and procedures for your company and you stare at the screen about the uniform policy? Well, you know, the HR policies, they are what they are with a handbook. But this is different. This is videos, this is learning, it's tests, it's quizzes, it's sign off on this. And I did it in 5 days. And the last one that you saw where I was talking about, I got it down to 45 minutes. Payroll was taking my office manager over a day to do. A full day to do payroll. I got it down now to 17 minutes using the AI tools. And then we systemized all of these things. And underneath all of those, and I'll be doing this in the breakout later on today, every single one of those has this much content underneath it. So there's policy starters, but in order for me to leave, we needed to be able to get this in place or else I couldn't go. We also, once again, got really, really clear on our target market. So the spray and pray method, we cannot afford to do that. We honed in on our best and highest customer we call Bougie Betty and her husband Bougie Bill. They are high-end clients like many of yours. These are probably the same clients that you have. They're people with some disposable income. They want things done right. They're not going to quibble about pricing. So we started building GPTs in order to do our marketing, our finance, all of our systems and all of our processes now came down to AI tools. And I started building these. Has anybody built one? Yes, couple of you. These are basically little search engines that you can develop to do a specific thing for you. So if you wanted to run your finances, you wanted to create content for your website, you wanted to do your social media posts, you can create your own GPT. And that's what I started doing. One of the big ones, which is really important to Bougie Betty, is I have a nonprofit called Thriftanista, and I take women on shopping tours on a bus. Okay, well, what does that have to do with business? Well, I get 40 women in my target demographic on a bus for the entire day, and I teach them how to thrift store shop all over the Denver metro area. And they love it. And then they get coupons to the plumbing and heating company. So this GPT that I created and started floating out there, which we now have attributed to over $100,000 in new revenue in the last quarter because we have all these people using the app. And what it does is when you go to a thrift or consignment store, or any store, you can take a picture of the item and the price tag, and it will tell you if it's a good deal. And if not, it will tell you where to get it. Now, I did not train it to do this, but I gave these to the Dress for Success folks here in Denver. They're a nonprofit that help women get ready for job interviews. It now can detect whether an item is fake or real. I did not do that. The AI did it itself. So that is a little bit mind-blowing too. But this is just something that we did to be very unique. And here's my Bougie Betties over at the Gaylord. And I took a big group of them on a bus not too long ago. And then everyone becomes a customer of the plumbing and heating company. Another one that we did in order to save a lot of money and create our budget. It's coming into budget season. Right? Who loves doing their budgets? Nobody. Not one of you. One guy over there. Yeah. He's like, I love doing the budget. I used to take an entire week and I would create the budget for our company. And I would do it during the Thanksgiving holiday week. Good timing. This way we have December to get everything rolling. I built a GPT where I can create a budget in about 3 minutes. Another thing that you see on there is bookie.ai. Unlike the bookies that I knew from New Jersey, this is an accounting AI. We were paying over $2,000 a month for accounting. We had a bookkeeper every single week, and they were managing all our transactions. We have a ton of transactions. So that was one of the things that needed to go. And we created this GPT where I put all of the key performance indicators into the GPT. I created the Compete on Awesome CFO. So I built the back end, putting key performance indicators showing what should be my profit margin, how much should I be spending on healthcare, what should I be spending on materials, all of these things. And then I took last year's profit and loss, and here's the important part for safety for you, is to put it into a spreadsheet. I also took last year's balance sheet, put that in a spreadsheet. I cut out just the numbers, none of my personal information, no account numbers, nothing about our company, and I threw it in there, and I asked it to do two things. Create the budget for 2024, and now we're going to do 2025. I asked it, once I put in first quarter's numbers, if it could forecast me for the rest of the year. And then, because I can see selling my company is like really close, what is the EBITDA? And EBITDA, if you're not familiar, if you haven't sold a business, is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. That's the calculation that a business broker or a CPA would use to figure out the value of your company when you're ready to sell. Now, our company had fallen on hard times a few years ago. We had a nice embezzlement. We were getting ready to sell back then, too. And so I jokingly say that my acronym is exit before it tanks. But if we are looking on selling the company in 3 years or so, and that's really what we're hoping for, we need to be lean and we need to be super profitable, and I need to know what my EBITDA is. So the GPT did all of this. This whole time I've been talking, it's been going. And that's on warp speed. That's at 2.5 times. Right? So now it takes that whole budget thing out of the way. And the newer AIs, the newer large language models, will allow you to just put it into a spreadsheet. You can download this. So now you download your budget for 2025 into a spreadsheet. You connect it to your QuickBooks or whatever other program that you're using, and now you've got your budget. And it's based on the key performance indicators, and it's based on profitability. So this right here saved $24,000 a year. Another thing that Bookie does is it does a bank reconciliation every day. So you do not need to wait till the end of the month to get your numbers. You do not need to hire, someone weekly to do it. We still now hire someone to do the monthly reconciliation just to make sure that everything's working smoothly. And it's always good to have another set of eyes on your books. Do you think this would be helpful? Yeah, right? Pretty cool. And you get to know where you are all the time. And you can take this further. I've done all kinds of things, saying, what if we downsize? What if we cut this? What if we did that? You can put all of those prompts in here. Another thing that we did, and this is how you build actually a back-end GPT. Anybody can do it as long as you have the upgraded version of ChatGPT, which is $20 a month. You can go and build this, which is based on your own business. Now, not all of my science experiments, if you will, on marketing and what have you using AI were winners right out of the gate. And I thought that it would be a great idea to save $3,500 a month on search engine optimization because I had all of these AI tools, and I didn't need to pay someone $3,500 a month in order to manage my search engine optimization. Well, for the marketing people in the room, you're probably laughing at me right now because you're saying, yes, it's a lot harder than you think it is. And I crashed our website 3 times. I had hired a firm out of India, so I spent a few nights up all night speaking with my Indian group of technologists there to help me with my website. So I don't know if I, having know what I know now, done that again, but I have been able to now get the website where I'm only spending about $500 a month instead of $4,000 a month. And then that frees me up to do other types of marketing. And one of the other types of marketing that I'm finding is using direct mail, because old school is new school. Not very many people are sending mail now. So it makes sense to do it, and it's very reasonably priced. And I did figure out to use AI to do the back-end search engine optimization in our website. And as we know, Google algorithms are changing. Paid search is very much up in the air. But one thing we know, Google is not going to lose $54 billion in search engine optimization and paid ads to get it out there. They're already doing a lot of detection of AI-generated content, and it's penalizing you to a certain point. I expect that trend to continue. So how do we do this? And I heard just yesterday that paid search and pay-per-click will be gone in 2 years. That remains to be seen. For those of you who spend a lot of money on pay-per-click, that's welcome news, but this is all new things that we need to keep our eye on. Another thing that I've heard through all of my research, and I spend about 8 to 10 hours a week keeping up on the news, learning new things, taking classes, trying new AIs. I've started a support group called Subscriptions Anonymous because, as you know, we start getting excited about all these subscriptions, and they cost money. So what we've been able to do, though, is to optimize it using all of these tools. And where do I find all of these tools? One of my favorite places to go is there's an AI for that. So anything that you want to do and find an AI for is here. There's 18,000 AIs in there. When I first started doing this presentation, there were 7,000. And there's 18,000, and that number grows every single day. So if you want to go in there and find something specific of what you need, there it is. Here's something that I discovered recently, which I absolutely love. Has anybody seen this Chat Hub? Okay, so to get to that point of how much are you spending and what is paid, this program costs $19.99 a month. It's got ChatGPT and all of the upgraded models. It's got Llama, Bing, Claude, Anthropic, Gemini, and 5 other AIs that I've never heard of, all the upgraded versions in one place. So I gave it one prompt, and I said, create my content for the next 30 days, and this is what happened. So all of the AIs then did it at the same time. So you can compare, you pick the one that you like best, and then I asked it, as you see here, to create a spreadsheet so that I can use it in content. So now I've created 30 days of content, social media posts. I told it where I wanted it to go. I wanted it to go on Instagram, and I put it through Facebook, and I put some of it on Twitter. So I had all of this in here, and now I will be able to export that, pop it into Canva, and it will create the 30 days of content. And then I can either schedule it right out of there, or I could go over to Meta and schedule it there. But you can do it right out of Canva. Does anyone use Canva? Yeah, it's amazing. It seems though every time you turn it on, it's got like something new, which sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not. But this here is one of my favorite AIs that I have come across because it shows you everything in the same place. It also limits hallucinations about what's wrong, what's right, because now you can verify and validate the content. So I use a lot of this for my content writing. Another thing that you will need to use moving forward, if you're going to write your own content, blogs, Facebook posts, anything on your website, if Google is highly detecting AI, you want to be able to fly under the radar on that, right? There are programs inside of ChatGPT, other GPTs that people have built that are called humanizers. So you take whatever content you wrote in AI, you put it in the humanizer screen, and the humanizer can edit it for you and make it less detectable. You can also put it in old standby Grammarly, and Grammarly will tell you which percentage of this document is AI and which isn't. And if you're a really good writer, it will say it's AI and it's not. Because we took all kinds of old blogs and threw them in there just to see what would happen. And some of them, they detected AI, which was not true. And we were able then to rewrite all of this content on the website. Another thing that we did, which the marketing people, once again, in the room are going to be like, you did what? We changed the name of our company to be in alignment with what was happening in the search world. So our business in Colorado was in Commerce City. It's right on the border from Denver. Like, seriously, from here to that wall is Denver. And in order to downsize and to save all that money, we were moving to another space. We moved to a space where we had a shared office, and then we had a small warehouse. It saved us $2,000 a month in order to do that. And years ago, I had purchased the domain Denver Plumber and HVAC. But I couldn't use that if I was in Commerce City. So when we moved, and we were able to see the search traffic for Denver and Plumber, because that's what's happening right now, currently, in the search world, Denver and Plumber. And we were able to put ourselves in Park Hill. So we now actually have 3 different brands, and we did that intentionally in order to use the AI to its maximum and to make it work for us without paying for paid advertising. Another thing that we did is we started writing ebooks. Has anyone done that? I will caution you, if you're going to do it, it adds a lot of credibility to you. If you have an ebook or a book, you can then market that you wrote a book on what you do for a living and how people can learn. We created 4 different ones. One was the Homeowner's Handbook to Home Maintenance, and we told them all of these things you can do yourself, and of course, when that doesn't work, call us. We made one for high rises. That's a big target market for us. We made one for boilers. We made one for old heating systems. And then I published them for free through a program called Draft 2, the number 2, Digital. You can create an ebook in there. You can also create a print book in there for free. And the reason they say for free is because they can sell your book or your ebook. And then you can now use this in marketing. Download your free ebook here. And we create it. Be very careful, though, with the content. And one of my favorite AI tools in creating content is a microphone. Speak what you want to say about this blog post or in the book or what have you. Just transcribe it, and then you can put it into the AI and just ask it to shape it up a little bit. And then the covers for these books, I made them in Canva. Took a half an hour. This would not have been available to me, a small business owner, or to any of you a year ago. But this is the way we can leverage to compete on awesome and not on price. Because not everyone knows all of these tricks. Not everyone is emerging as fast as all of you to go to that next step in AI in your businesses. Another thing that we did that saved $2,500 a month was to do an answering service that was AI. Has anyone done that? Or a phone system? This is a love-hate relationship for your customers. Some of you hear them yelling, operator, operator. We all done it ourselves, right? We know that we get the operator out there, but this particular one was trained on our database of calls, and we have 27,000 customers in our database, and all of them with phone calls that were recorded. So this is a real call from a week ago, because it keeps getting better and better and better. As it keeps learning, I keep updating it. So here's what it sounds like.
Hi there, and thank you for calling Denver Plumber and HVAC. This is Lucy. Please let me know how I can help.
Hi, we have a leaking pipe in our basement.
Got it. I'm sorry to hear about the leaking pipe. May I have your first and last name to get started?
It's Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm an AI agent, but I can assist on getting you scheduled. How long has the pipe been leaking?
A couple days.
Thank you for that information. Is the leak causing any noticeable damage, or is it contained?
It's pretty contained.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'll gather a few more details. May I have the address where the service is needed?
132nd Avenue.
Thank you. Are you the homeowner at this address?
Yes.
Perfect. Could you also provide your preferred phone number for a callback?
How's that?
303-358.
Thank you,
I
Stephanie.
edited some of
A team
it.
member will reach out as soon as possible during business hours to confirm your appointment. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Nope, that'll cover it.
Is that amazing?
Great. You'll get a confirmation call from our team soon. Have a wonderful day, Stephanie.
Thank you.
That service costs $500 a
welcome.
month. And we were paying $2,700 a month for an answering service. In addition, we were able to not fill the position of a part-time dispatcher because of this, because it worked. Not everybody's easy to get on board with this, and what we have been doing, though, we've been using it for 6 or 7 months. And it has a feature where you can jump into the middle of the call. So it will send us a text now and say, the AI is answering the call, and you can watch the conversation happening, or you can listen to it, and you can jump in there. So that allows you then to be able to train it. And then if the call doesn't go well, you can click on train. And that's a big part of it too. I learned a lot of lessons about leadership and training employees from AI. And the reason for that is you need to be very specific. And as business leaders and visionaries, you may relate to this, that we're very big, broad stroke folks. But to get down into the details of do this and this and this and this, and at this time, maybe not so good. So the AI requires you to be incredibly detail-oriented, or you're not going to get the results that you expect. Same thing with a real person. If you give somebody fuzzy instructions, you're going to get a fuzzy result. Another thing that we have been playing around with, and I spent about a day training this next model on water heaters. And this is what I was able to achieve in probably about 4 or 5 hours.
Thank you for that information. Based on what you've shared, I'll need to schedule an in-home consultation for a precise assessment. Our water heaters come with a full warranty and installation by our certified technicians. Plus, we offer competitive pricing and financing options to fit your budget. Would you like me to schedule an appointment for a free consultation? Or is there a specific time you prefer?
So I trained her, and it goes back and forth. This, I will tell you, is not ready for prime time because I've made an avatar of myself using the same program, and you can chat with me on my website. One, it's very slow loading, which makes me unhappy because I want people to be able to have a really good experience, but it's also really expensive. So I did a conference last month, and I was like, there's my new thing. Well, I ended up getting this giant bill because everyone was chatting with my avatar. So I don't think that the avatars are ready for prime time in this iteration. There's other ways to use the avatars, which I'm about to show you. My favorite program with the avatars is Hey Gen, Gen. And the man that you saw who introduced me, of course, I think you knew that was an avatar. But things are getting really hairy on the avatar front. The world, and our country especially, is concerned about these deep fake avatars and the upcoming election. Now, with Hey Gen, in the beginning, I used to be able to load anybody's picture in there and make them talk and turn them into an avatar. So I have Taylor Swift, I have John Bon Jovi, I have all kinds of people in there that I can make talk. If I try to do that now, it will not allow it. Won't allow it to happen. As are many of the AIs. They do not want to create a real person. But these avatars have saved so much time, and they speak in 29 different languages. So here's just an example of how I used it to do some marketing. Hey there, it's Susan in the shop. Let's talk about the dangers of do-it-yourself HVAC repairs. Thinking of you fixing your HVAC yourself, well, caution. Do-it-yourself repairs can be super risky. Without the right knowledge, you might cause more harm or even void your warranty. For safety and efficiency, let the experts handle the big HVAC challenges. Leave it to us. The way I made the avatar is I had to speak for 2 minutes into the camera. And I used Zoom. That's a great way to record video. And I was sitting at my desk. That was not the background. I took a picture in the shop and I just popped it in there. And then everything that I'm saying, I just type it in. So you could make 100 videos in a couple of hours. And there may be some of you who feel the same way. You know, sometimes you don't want to make a video because you're not having a good hair day. I just don't really feel like it. I don't want to do it. Your marketing person is nagging you to get those videos out. Solves all the problems. Another thing that you can do is, as I mentioned, 28 different languages. And here's a sample.
私のセッションにご参加いただき、誠にありがとうございました。素晴らしい一日をお過ごしください。
Grazie per aver partecipato alla mia sessione, amici miei. Fate dell'IA il vostro amico.
Thank you so much for attending my session today and allowing me to be your AI tour guide. So that voice of me at the end, there's 2 different ways to do voices in there. And of course, I had to throw speaking Italian in there, because now that I'm Italian, I'm all about all that. But I recorded that with my microphone, and I said what I wanted it to say, and then it made my mouth move, and my body move, and my eyes move. And now there's even, you'll see that your pupils and your eyes stay straight on. So if you're wandering around, it will fix that. Just like the program Descript, if anyone's using that for video editing, you can make it so that your eyes are looking at the camera. But the other 2, I just said, make it speak in Italian, make it speak in Japanese, and that's what happened. So if you have a client base that is in different languages, or who speak different languages, you can now turn your content into that. Or if you're a trainer in some way, imagine that. You have a video library of all of these videos that you have made in the past. Now you can pop them in there and turn them into any language you want. So now you have just expanded your reach worldwide. So these are the 3 brands that I created in my mad scientist way of getting ready for exit, making my husband have a small company, and us reinventing ourselves to do what we really love. So Denver Plumbing and HVAC, you heard the reason behind that, because it's going to work better for SEO. Boiler Genius. This is my husband's moniker. He's been published 11 times for his boiler work, and we can now SEO that Boiler Genius. And then we formed a new company. In those dark moments when we thought William was going to die, and we didn't know what we were going to do, and we decided to try to find things that we loved. We love dogs. We have big dogs. Now, even though William is not allergic to dogs per se, dirty dogs and dog hair are not good for his asthma. We built then dog wash company called Pet Wash Pros. And I wanted to see if I could start this business in one day with AI, and I did. So I made the logo, the website, the social media channels, the articles of incorporation using an AI lawyer. If there's any lawyers in the room, I know that probably wasn't a good idea, but it worked for us. Got the tax ID number, and now I created 30 videos in one day for Pet Wash Pros. And what this is you need a master plumber if you want to install a dog wash in your garage, your mudroom, your laundry room, your basement, and we will come in and install that for you. And why the avatars? Well, the big reason is because I wanted a nameless, faceless company that could be sold. And Bougie Betty and Bill have dogs that they love. And they will spend just about anything on their dogs, right? You are probably in these type of homes, and they would be the people who would buy a dog wash. So this is our Ride at Home to Retirement program. Now, getting back to the avatars for just a second. There is a program in HeyGen under Labs. I'm sort of a super user of HeyGen, so I get to play around with all the really cool labs all the time. And there's a process in there where you can put in any URL, and it will create an influencer video. So if you want to have reels on Instagram and Facebook and all over, and that's not really your thing, or you're trying to maybe attract a younger demographic, and you don't want to hire a real influencer. So I did this for HTSA. I put in the URL, and I asked it to make me an influencer video. And here's what happened.
Ever wondered how to propel your tech business to the next level? HTSA membership has the solution and teaches you how to compete on awesome, not on price. Imagine unlocking industry-leading programs, personalized marketing collateral, and strategic alliances. Need financial support? HTSA connects you with visionary partners for complete HR and financial services. Struggling to make a mark? Benefit from superior marketing strategies and educational mastery on emerging technologies. Network with top professionals at world-class events and gain access to high-performance brands. Don't settle for less. Join HTSA to fuel your passion, performance, and business. Transform your tech journey with HTSA today.
Now, I did 0 editing on that. All I did was pop in the URL, and it came out with that. And you could pick your avatar, and then it comes up with 4 scripts. And it asks you which script that you want to use. You click it, or you can put your own script in there. So I went to make another one for another program I'm delivering on Friday, and the whole avatar system, this whole system, is gone off of the HeyGen program. You know why? Because it is too realistic. So it's gone. It's off the site. You cannot make another one. So have great knowledge that the last one in existence, you have it. And there it is. And then another thing that I did, and these influencer videos, I will tell you, are unbelievable when you start pushing them out on Instagram and Facebook Reels. People do not know that's an avatar. Here is another thing with the Notebook LLM, and this is free, by the way. This is how I started out the talk, with the Notebook LLM and Dario Amade's essay. So I took the
Ever get that
HTSA.
feeling? Like you're standing on the edge of something bad.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like the calm before.
The home tech explosion.
Garrett is.
Well, today we're diving deep into a group that's right there on that edge, HTSA. They're calling themselves the experts, the ones shaping the future of home tech. So we're taking a good hard look at their own website, seeing if they live up to the hype.
And the first thing that jumped out at me, they call themselves a consortium. Not just a trade group, a consortium.
Right. What is that?
So I put that in the handout so that you would have access to it. But is that amazing? Literally, it takes a minute to do that for free. So to recap, we talked about the magic of AI. We talked about the transformation of how we can use it. And then, of course, throughout, I was telling you how much we were saving. But here it is all in one spot. $2,000 a month on the answering service. Bookkeeping, $2,000 a month. The office space now, this could be the wild card, whether we're going to count this one or not. But believe me, if we did not have all of this AI, we would have needed more space and that additional dispatcher. So that's $1,625 a month. The SEO, $3,500 a month, just for that portion of it. Social media, ChatGPT and Canva, $500 a month we saved. Pretty much we were paying someone to do our social media. I don't need to do that anymore. And I get the option to use that chat hub with all of the AIs in there. And then didn't need the part-time dispatcher, $3,000. So, and I did not add the employee loss, which is about $4,000. And what I mean by employee loss, once we implemented the AI system in the very beginning, the training of onboarding, so the way that works now is they will onboard, if we get a new employee, through Gusto. That's our payroll processor. Could be any payroll processor. You send your new employee the link, they fill out all their paper. Boom. Now it goes over to Trainial, and inside of that system is 7 hours of training, where your employee sits and can watch videos, they can read documents, you can set it up where they'll have a quiz, they can sign off, so they understand every single thing that they're supposed to be doing. Since we implemented that, we have not lost one employee in over a year. And my technicians, maybe like many of your technicians, they will usually jump to another company. They're constantly getting recruited and getting hit up with other people who want to hire them. And they're looking for the BBD, which is the bigger, better deal. So I asked a good friend of mine who speaks on employee retention. She said the cost per month of keeping an employee in a technician role, like many of you with your installers and me with my plumbers and HVAC technicians, is about $4,000 a month. I did not include that into the big numbers. So, we're going to have a few minutes at the end here to answer questions, but I want to just finish up, and then we will go into some Q&A for a few moments. And then I will be delivering today a presentation just on the systems. We're going to dive deep. It's going to be a workshop into the Trainial systems. And then we're going to talk about recruiting for a new generation, which is sort of a new way that I've created to find new employees in this market and in this new world in which we live. So just to circle back with the whole DNA thing, like, really? Like, what does this have to do with anything? I really believe our businesses have DNA, just like we do. We are made up of all of these different things. And Yugoslavia is kind of close to Italy, so the old Yugoslavia. But since I found out that I was this much Italian, for 3 years, I wrote to all of these people on the Ancestry app. And I've done 10 different DNA tests. There's really that many out there. And I hired a DNA detective because I was puzzled. And anyone in my family who would really know the truth of this are all deceased. So I don't know. But in January of this year, my first cousin finally opened her Ancestry app because she was planning a trip to Italy, and she saw all my messages. And thankfully, she did not think I was a nut because I had written so many different times. And we connected, and I went to New Jersey in February, and I met all of my first cousins. And I found out who my father was, who is deceased. And it was amazing. But something that I did find out in all of that research is that one of my cousins is a famous actor who was in the entire Sopranos show, every single episode. I also found out that we have some nefarious relatives, some in New Jersey, some in Italy. That was very interesting to hear. I wish I knew this in high school. It would have made me very popular. And the Irish family, this family. So, 60 years of rumors. I stand before you to solve the puzzle where the Kennedys and the mob involved with each other, right here. So thank you so much for this. I'm going to give you your downloads now, and I'll let my friend Buddy do the, and I did go to Italy. So interesting. I went to Italy for my birthday, brought all my friends on a cruise, and wherever I went in Naples and in Sicily, which is where my family's from, they spoke to me in Italian, because that's how Italian I look. So how I went my whole entire life thinking I was Polish, I don't know. But in our house, we have a joke. We say, out with pierogi and in with ravioli. And here's my friend Buddy to close us out.
Hello, everyone. We are going to pause for a moment so you can give some great feedback to my mom. This helps her to get better, and don't worry. If the feedback is not good, it's okay. I'll snuggle with her while she drinks heavily and listens to Shake It Off by Taylor Swift over and over again.
Okay, so here's your handouts. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you.
here.
That was terrific. Give it up. Big round of applause for that. Thank you so much.
You want to do questions? We have a few minutes. Want to do questions?